you thought of America as a strong nation.
Yes.
The American dream was a dream everybody wanted to live, right? But then now, when you think of America, you think rainbow flag. You think people with colored hair.
Yeah,
you think lunatics.
Yes.
You think people who are insane.
Sanibonani, Dumelang, Molweni, Goeienaand. It's Umar Pair, and we're back with another video. What are we doing today?
So you're gonna check out this clip from Penel's show, where Dr. Umar was explaining why the LGBTQ community is the new birth control pill.
You got people like Bill Gates, the United Nations, the Rockefeller Foundation that come into Africa and fund family planning programs that deliberately seek to reduce the population of African people. That's one of the biggest reasons for LGBTQ. That's one of the biggest reasons for LGBTQ. And I'm not against no homosexual or no lesbian. I love all African people, but I reserve the right to disagree with any lifestyle that threatens the survival of the traditional African family. LGBTQ is the new birth control pill. Why do I say that? 2 men cannot reproduce. 2 women cannot reproduce. And now they're even transgenderizing our children. Do you know what that means? They're manipulating and indoctrinating African children to undergo sexual surgery so they'll never be able to reproduce again. We are not looking at this LGBTQ thing the way we should be looking at it. It is birth control and racial extermination. Why you think Kamala Harris is traveling throughout Africa, trying to convince African countries to legalize gay marriage? Why does America care how Africa chooses to run its society? What do you care about marriage in Africa?
I've always wondered why this agenda is being pushed the way it is.
Yeah.
Like you have multi-billion-dollar companies alienating their core customers to push this agenda.
Yes.
And in doing these campaigns, they know that they will lose billions.
Yes.
But they still push these agendas.
But they still push. Why?
And in a corporation.
Not because they care about your private affairs or what you.
So in a corporation, if you've ever worked in a corporation, you will know that these things are thoroughly researched.
Yes.
These things are properly planned, and then these things are executed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a mistake where, like we've seen with Bud Light now, where they're making it look like it was a mistake, where they endorsed an LGBTQ person on their drink.
Yeah.
And then when there was backlash and they started losing billions, then they came out with these statements saying that no, it was a mistake. We don't know who, we didn't approve this campaign, blah, 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 all these things. And if you've ever worked in corporate, you know that that's not possible.
Yeah.
That is not possible at all. So we have multi-billion-dollar companies pushing and promoting this agenda, even though they know they're going to lose billions in the process. So my thing is, like, I've always just wondered why. Even the government, in this, I've always just wondered, why is the government even allowing such?
Yeah.
Because before, like growing up in the 2000s and whatever, if you looked at what America stood for, like growing up in the 2000s, whenever you thought of America, you thought of like the American flag.
Yeah.
You thought of the eagle. You thought
peace.
of the strong man with an eagle. You thought about guns. You thought about the military. You thought about all these things. You thought of America as a strong nation.
Yes.
The American dream was a dream everybody wanted to live, right? But then now, when you think of America, you think rainbow flag. You think people with colored hair.
Yeah,
you think lunatics.
Yes.
You think people who are insane. I've always just wondered, like, why is even the government promoting this?
Yeah.
Because it's also tarnishing their image as well.
Their image.
Like America now.
To a point where they really don't care
Yeah.
at this point about their image or whatever. That's the image they want to push.
America now is not as feared as it used to be.
Yeah.
Like when you think of America now, you think rainbow flag.
No. Yeah.
You think colored hair people. You think in lunatics.
Do you think that's like the last kicks of a dying horse, if you get what I mean? Not last kicks of a dying horse, but when you're pulling out your last piece of ammo or your last,
No, so what I'm trying to get at is that there's no way even the American government would push this agenda, knowing that it would weaken
them.
Yes, it would weaken them, even in an international stage.
Yeah.
They know that this agenda
what is your
is
take?
weakening them, right? So it would make sense that the top people, the people that actually control the world, are pushing this agenda, and they're enforcing all these governments and companies to push
also
this agenda.
be on the.
So why would the most powerful government in the world weaken its society to push an agenda? You know, I've always just had these thoughts.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
and
what
then,
do you? What is
and
your
then
take?
now when people come out with these theories that no, actually this LGBTQ agenda is for population control.
Yeah.
It starts to make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Because
do you think even America has come to a point where they feel like they've kind of made a huge mess and also want to kind of control their population as well?
No, they can easily control their population, like easily. Like Americans, I don't know why they're doing this. Like, I don't know.
So it's like you're really selling off your own.
They're literally selling their souls for this.
Yeah.
Like, it's so strange to me.
So it really shows you that they don't really care about the general American.
Yes.
Because they're using the general American
to push their agenda. Which is so strange. So now it makes sense. Okay, this LGBTQ agenda is obviously being pushed from the top.
Yeah.
And all these companies and governments are obliged. They have to push their agenda.
And the crazy thing is that people don't have an issue with homosexuality and people who decide to be homosexual. Under normal circumstances, the few exceptions, because that really is kind of an exceptional sort of situation. But now for it to become a mass pandemic sort of situation.
The crazy thing is, I think like the homosexuals, like the LG parts of the LGBTQ
are the only actual
are the people, they don't even want to be associated with that.
Yeah.
I think that
you could see like they literally like kind of are getting like, ooh, they want to disassociate, but they can't disassociate, if you get what I mean. Like, if only you could just put the LP alone and then like.
Because I think the actual like lesbians and gays, especially those ones that fought for their liberation in the early 90s and late 90s or whatever, especially those ones.
They didn't fight for what it is today.
Yeah, all they wanted was to have the right to date the person of the same sex.
Yes.
And also to marry the person of
the same sex.
That's all they wanted. They wanted to be seen as normal people, but they're just dating the same sex. That's it. That's all they wanted.
And then I feel like a lot has decided to ride on the same train.
Yes, I think they decided to ride.
I think the problem started when they started accepting other alphabets to be added to the alphabet.
But they didn't even create the alphabet themselves. That's the thing.
Yeah.
They would just put it.
They would just put it.
Yeah.
And
so
put it
it's the trans people that created this whole alphabet thing, and then
you know what they wrote on the whole like rejects of society thing, if you get what I mean. Oh, let's all come together, one big kumbaya, we one big happy family, when that's not even the case.
Because it's crazy. Because if it was actually the gays and the lesbians who created this, they would have created this a long time ago.
Yeah.
So it's only come out now that there's a trans.
And this has been because the LGBTQ is pushed. That's the one that's being pushed. Like, whoa.
So like this whole thing baffles me.
And you can be anything you want, whatever sexuality you want. It's just like confusion. Let's be honest, it's a whole lot of confusion.
Like the American government is allowing their people to become mentally insane, and they're fine with that.
And really are sort of validating
they're perpetuating mental illness.
it.
They're perpetuating it. They like
why?
It's so
and it's really it doesn't put the people in a good state. It's not putting people are becoming even more suicidal being in.
And as time goes on, it gets worse and worse and worse.
Now to the point of indoctrinating children who are not in a place of actually deciding whether they are confused about their sex or not.
So now it all starts to make sense now when you actually think that, okay, this whole agenda is actually to control the population. So another thing is, okay, let's take this whole population control thing and let's try to look at it from like a billionaire's perspective, like Bill Gates.
Yeah.
So the whole argument that Bill Gates brings up with this is that the earth will not be able to sustain a human population of like, I think over 12 billion people or something. So I think it's somewhere around there. It's either 12 or 17 billion, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
The Earth won't be able to sustain that kind of population. So we need to slow down.
It would if they were not greedy. If we didn't have a large population of people that were greedy and wanted to have so much in abundance for themselves.
So you think they're doing this just to...
Yeah, because they're not going to be able to continue like that if population keeps growing. They won't. They have to sacrifice what they have more and more and start having less and less. And they're not about that. So you have to choose one. Rather we choose us to be able to get richer and richer and richer.
So they're preserving their...
Yes, their own. Absolutely.
Okay.
And they're not willing to let go of the privilege. So we are the problem in essence to the whole situation. So rather cut us down so that they can keep, their privileges.
So yeah, this thing, if it was any other time in history, this thing wouldn't be a thing.
It wouldn't be a thing.
Because right now it needs to be a thing to control the population.
To control population and the obsession with that. The COVID-19 didn't do the work that they were intended to do. Now it's like we have to think of other methods. We have to think of other things, other extremes.
It is what it is, man. You guys let us know what you think about this whole situation.
Yep. Let us know.
And don't forget to like, subscribe.
And keep watching. Goodbye.
We'll check you guys in the next one.